I'll do, and welcome to the Rift Report on February the 25th, 2011. My name is Drazilic and I'm here to bring you the latest news and updates for the game Rift. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of weeks, I'm sure you've seen the advertisement for Rift all around any of the gaming sites you've been to, because it is the new and upcoming MMO, and the Headstart was actually launched yesterday. And for those that have actually managed to get onto one of the servers when it's not been full and not been sitting in a queue for 3,000 people, I guess, up to 8 hours, and then an hour later you get disconnected like I did twice, and then you have to reload again, which is not a pleasant thing to do, then you'd have obviously played it and you'll be in the game, or at least having a look around the game to see what it's like if you haven't been in beta. Although I assume most of the people that are in Headstart have actually played beta, because that's why you're in the Headstart, because you've already played it and gone, yeah, baby. Well, anyway, I'm here to bring you the news and updates, and the first news and update we will be bringing you is the patch, which is aptly codenamed Beta-to-Headstart. Now, I know you're all thinking that is amazing when it comes to creativity, but it is, I guess, a bit refreshing from the 1.0596.02110.5 million other random numbers that other games like to put in. So, to be fair, it's a lot better than reading one of those. Although I am sure that they will be bringing one of those type of patches in very soon. Now, if you haven't actually looked at the patch, it is quite extensive. There are at least 2 posts, full posts on this actual patch, and the main ones most people are probably going to be more interested in is the class changes and the soul changes. Now, as I said, I'm not going to go through them all because of far too many, but people that were previously QQing about the Void Knight being overpowered and the like, and was it Riftblade, I'm sure you might not moan so much now, simply because I think they have had a bit of a nerf, but then I don't really play them, so I don't know whether it will be a nerf or not. It could just be a slight alteration which prevents them from face melting you. But you know, I always think it's quite nice to face melt mages, because I don't like mages because they suck. Also, you'll all be relieved to know that when you are swimming upwards now in the water, you no longer look as if you're jumping, because I know that was a grave concern to a lot of people. And dwarfs have also had a nerf when it comes to getting achievements from jumping, as we all know that they get a fall ratio, which allows them to fall twice as far, which I think is overly overpowered. Because, you know, when we start Warfronts, other people are taking like 25 damage, and I take nothing. Now, that could be game breaking. So I don't know what you all think about that and the other classes' ratios compared to a dwarf, but I really do think a dwarf is overpowered, so that may need to have a nerf very soon. And our next thread up for you is by Abigail, the Senior Community Manager for Trion Forums, just stating that they have 1 million registered players for the Headstart, which I think is pretty awesome, considering they're using the same engine that was used for Warhammer Online, and we know how successful that's been, especially in Europe. And they've used it, converted it, made their own game out of it, used a new mechanic system, and they've enticed enough players to get to the 1 million player mark, which is pretty good considering they are going up against WoW. I don't ever believe that they'll surpass WoW in any way, but they may create enough of a following to kind of take some players away from it, maybe. I guess we'll see when we get to endgame whether there's enough endgame content with regards to PvE and PvP. We've seen some of the PvE raids, and the bosses don't look overly smash and grab type stuff, and it looks as if you will need to use some kind of tactics, but what they're like at the endgame nobody knows, and whether the Warfront is all that they've got planned, although we have heard in the pipeline that they will be introducing, maybe if there's enough call for it, a similar system like War, where you would have sieges and you can take over the other factions' strongholds. So only time will tell on that one. So keep your ear to the ground and keep looking out for news, and hopefully we'll have some here for you on that in the future. The next thread up again is by Abigail, simply stating that due to Rift opening yesterday, there will be queues and there are queues, and you'll just have to grin and bear it, I guess, which is all you can do, because at the end of the day it is a new game. They've introduced 12 extra servers than were available when it first went live, so within 12 hours they put an extra 12 servers on. I think they're now up to 33, which is pretty good going. I don't know that many other MMO companies that have actually been able to do that and successfully implement it, so fair play to them. All those that are QQing about not being able to get on the server they want to, it's just about patience. If you are moaning, then you've obviously not been on an MMO when it's released, because this happens every single time, every single game goes through it. It's nothing new. So all the old hats are sitting there patiently just waiting until the server times go down. All you newbies, I just suggest calm yourself down, stop QQing, stop going on the forum and moaning, because it's boring and nobody's interested. And they know it's happening through Trion, so they are trying to increase the number of servers they have. As a word of warning to people, when new servers do come up, they always have a very low limit and they increase it over time, otherwise there will be a bottleneck created and the servers will crash, and if they crash then nobody can play, so they just do it that way. So just put up with it and stop sulking. Get on with it. Go do something else. Tidy your room. Go make a cake. I don't know. Just stop QQing. This here is something we don't see very often on forums nowadays, because they're generally full of idiots and people trolling, although trolling can be classed as a skill. A lot of the time it's done by unprofessional people who don't know how to troll properly and don't keep to the right threads. But this, I think, is fantastic and something I don't see. It's someone actually thanking the developers for the implementation of the game and the smooth running of the servers. Normally all you get begin on launch of a game, which there are also threads of, is people moaning and sulking and acting like they're 10 years old, and it's generally because they are 10 years old or they've got the mentality of a 10-year-old. But Heikura, I think it's Heikura or Haikura, has set up a thread thanking Trion for a fantastic launch and probably the best one he's actually experienced for 15 years. I've not been playing MMOs for that long, but I've been playing them for about 10 years, and it is probably the best experience I've seen people go through on an MMO. I've not been actually playing myself as yet, simply because the server I'm on is so overly populated, because it's part of some EU PvP Unite, so about 30 guilds have signed up and joined on there, so it's so overcrowded at the moment, it's unbelievable. But I have played beta, so I'm not too concerned, and the rest of my guild are on there, so it's just a time of waiting. But for everybody else, like all the other threads on the news report here, there will be a description on the bottom, so if you'd like to go over there and make a post and thank Trion for what they've done, it would be fantastic, because it's severely lacking in the modern day gaming of MMOs. So please go over and have a look. And our last topic today is on account security. Perfect Kill is requesting that Trion already implement some kind of authentication, I guess, like Blizzard use for World of Warcraft. I believe he feels that if it's not implemented, then his account may be subject to hacking, like we've seen in World of Warcraft. I personally think it's a good idea to implement any kind of system to prevent customers' accounts being hacked, but at the end of the day, it's not down to Trion to do that, because all the hacking comes from keyloggers as far as I'm aware, and keylogging comes from you either downloading something or going on a website which is a fake website which is directed, and you click on something you shouldn't and it logs your keys whenever you're logging into anything. So yes, it would be very nice if they did implement something like this and give us the option, but all I can say is at the moment, while it's not happening, is just be careful what sites you're going on and what you're clicking on and what you're downloading. in anything regards to Rift. It applies to anything else you're doing on the internet, but if you're concerned about your account being hacked, then please do take care. There has been suggestions in the actual post itself that maybe the authenticators should be sold with the hard box, which is a good idea because then it saves on people having to rebuy stuff afterwards. But it also gives a disadvantage to people that are downloading the game because they won't have one. You've also got the phone option that WoW use, but then I've had problems with the WoW one where then I have to send in my passport, my DNA sample, a semen sample, hair follicles, and anything like that really, because I think they're a bit stringent on it. So it could lead to trouble in the future. We don't know. We don't know how big Rift will become and whether the Chinese farmers will get involved with it and the hackers. So I guess we'll have to see. I don't think Trion yet have made an announcement or posted on this. I don't even know if they've seen it, to be honest. But I just thought I'd make people aware of it, that there are players within the game that are concerned about it. So if you've got any concerns, please post a comment below and we can have a read and let people know what everybody else thinks. Well, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope some of you got something out of this. If you'd like to see more stuff in the future, please leave a comment and subscribe. Leave comments on suggestions of what we could implement into the show, what we could do. I do plan to put in more footage and achievements and other such goodies like this in the future, but it does require me to be in game, and with the queues at the moment it's a bit difficult to always be on because you have to sit and wait. But it will change and everything will settle down, so please subscribe if you liked it, subscribe if you don't, and give some constructive criticism. Thank you very much. I've been Drazilic and you've been watching the Rift Report from Wooden Duck Gaming. See you next time.